Hi, my name is Kim Sobat and welcome to my art studio. Today I'm going to do a painting demonstration using oil paint and cold wax. I'll be using this black gesso 12" by 12" cradle board that's been covered with a layer of black acrylic paint. Now I'm adding this sort of swamp green. I'm using sort of a swamp theme on this painting. Actually, there's a lot of swamp land here in North Carolina where I live, and it's really quite beautiful, and I thought I'd kind of bring that into my subject on this painting. Okay, so first covered with the green. Now this is a mixture of 50-50 cold wax to oil paint. And now I'm going to bring in some burnt sienna. I want earthy tones in this. Just kind of get it on there, onto the panel, and then I'll be moving it around. First, just kind of placing it on there. Getting it in the basic area where I want it. And then I'm coming back with my squeegee, and I'm going to soften all that up and blend it in a bit. Just going to add a little bit over here. And I'm just using a regular hair comb and making some marks. I like to have, I don't know, layers of marks throughout the work. And this is just bubble wrap, just different textures. Now I'm going to go in with some yellow ochre and just kind of warm things up a little bit. Just kind of spread it around. A little over here. And then go back with my squeegee and kind of soften, blend, smooth it around. Looks better. More there. Okay, so I'm going in with a skewer. This is just like a regular kebab skewer. And using the pointy end to make some marks. And then I'm going to go back in with the blunt side of it and make some deeper marks. I'd like to get down to that black underneath. And I take my squeegee again. You get a lot of little, I don't know, little pills or whatever that come off the paint, so just kind of smooth those out. And now I'm going to go back in with this ceramic tool. This is sort of a rounded, concave piece of metal that is nice because it takes off the surface, but it doesn't peel, but it scrapes nicely to the lower layers. Do it a little over here, a little bit darker this time. Okay, now I'm going to go back in, add a little bit of brown back. I kind of lost some of that. I want a little bit of contrast there. And now I'm going to come in with, this is actually cream. I don't know if it may look a little brighter than that to you. It's a cream color, and I'm gonna add a lot of this actually. Now I'm using a very light hand because I don't want to pull up the colors underneath. I don't want to pull up the paint underneath, so I'm gonna go really, really lightly. Now watch, I'm just gonna barely graze it with this squeegee. So I don't blend in those lower colors. I don't really want that. Just real lightly add a little bit down here in the foreground. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking to do. You can see it actually kind of skips over some of those darker marks, which is kind of what I wanted. Soften them up a little bit. This squeegee tool is the best. This is actually a bowl scraper, and if you watch my video of how to get started with cold wax, it explains all these tools and mixing the cold wax with the paint, etc. I'm going to soften these up a little bit. And you can use this the hard sides of the squeegee to make marks too. It works really well for that. Go in here and add some of that over here on the right. I don't know, these are kind of like grasses or something. You know, it's swamp, so reeds, grasses, that kind of thing. And I'm going to add sort of like, you know, to suggest water, reflections. And I'm using a harder edge scraper for this. It's rubber also, but it's got a little bit harder edge. I'm going to go in here with this orange. I just want to have, like, I don't know, some color, sort of suggesting floral flowers or something. I don't know. I just wanted to have another contrasting color in there. It was getting a little bit too swampy, if you know what I mean. I have some down here in the bottom, kind of like it could be the reflections or just petals that have fallen or something of that nature. And I'm going to go back in here and soften all that up. These are just blobs of painting I'm putting on here, so you kind of have to blend them in. It can take forever to dry. I'm just kind of softening the ones in the foreground. And I'm going to go add a little bit more contrasting lines. I'm liking the way this is coming along, though. Okay, now I'm going to go in and do some deeper and darker marks. So you get that idea of things being in the foreground, things kind of fading away in the background. This is just a made-up scene in my head, but I'll put this little dragonfly-looking thing up here. Just kind of need a little action in the middle of this. I don't want to do too much because then it just becomes sort of this bullseye, but you know, you like to kind of have some interest going on there too. And again, some more darker marks. Okay, yeah, this is kind of doing what I want. And I'm going to smooth out some of this. Again, you get little, I don't know, almost like little blobs of paint. And so just kind of smooth that out a little bit. Plus it kind of softens the whole thing, which I kind of want. I usually go horizontally and vertically kind of so it doesn't have a, I don't know, like a directional wind looking thing going on. I'm just going to go put a little bit more of this orange back in here because I maybe overblended it a little bit. Okay. I just kind of want that to look, I don't know, a little bit more noticeable, I guess. And so, you got kind of a dragonfly guy. And I just want to blend him in just a tad. And there you have it, Swamp Sweet. Thanks for joining me here today in my studio. I do have a website, it's kimsobat.com, and please do check out my YouTube channel which has other instructional videos. Thanks for joining.